Today we're playing some realistic games, but what makes a game realistic? The graphics, the gameplay, or maybe something else? And this got me thinking, what games are considered realistic, and are they? So I gathered 4 games on Steam that were considered realistic based off of their reviews, and my goal was to see how realistic these games were and if they were even fun to play. And the only way to do that is to actually play them. And just a quick reminder that these are video games and not real life. So here's the first game. Oh my god! 6 Days in Fallujah is a first-person tactical shooter where you and your squad are tasked with clearing out procedurally generated buildings and completing your objectives. And the reviews for this game said it's so close to real life that I would have nightmares after I was done. And yeah, I believe them. I am so terrified right now. I tried playing this game by myself and it was practically impossible. I needed a whole group to even come close to doing well. So I went ahead and just tried to find some people to play with in a public lobby. And my first attempt was quite successful. I ended up meeting this group of players. We had Seth, who was our squad leader, Master of Puppets, a player that we'll soon get to know very well, and Parker. Well, I don't really know much about them because they went AFK and got kicked. When the game started up, I spawned next to everyone and we just headed straight for the objective. However, the objective was to take out enemy mortars stationed in a park, and we immediately got hit with artillery. Oh my god. I don't feel safe. So we just took a little detour through some buildings in order to get there. It was pretty dark in this building, and I noticed that our squad leader had a flashlight, so I asked how to turn mine on. Do I even have a flashlight on this LMG at all?
No. You gotta suffer with that, buddy.
Oh, okay, sure.
You gotta get used to being blind, or just switch to your M9. There's nothing here. Get down, get down.
Since the first building was clear, we started breaching the next one, and I kinda wish the LMG had a flashlight because I made a horrible mistake.
Watch out, guys.
Oh! Oh no. Oh, I just killed our squad leader. I thought I just doomed our entire team, but it turns out that you get 1 squad revive per game when you play with more people, so problem solved? Anyways, we got our leader back and just pushed up towards the objective. With my LMG, I lay down suppressing fire and just waited for my teammates to clear out the enemies. And you're probably starting to think that this looks pretty easy. I mean, yeah, my heart was pounding out of my chest the entire time. Our leader died somewhere, and this time it wasn't even my fault. I got shot twice, and Master needed his arm to be wrapped up or else he was gonna bleed to death, but other than that, yeah, it was pretty easy. Eventually, we managed to kick over the mortars, take out the lingering enemies, cautiously walk towards the extract smoke, and then we finished our first mission. Whew, what a ride. When we got back to the lobby, our squad leader decided to hop off the game, and it was just Master and I left. And it turns out that he was a brand new player like myself. Alright, so you're a new player like me, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, so you're terrified.
Oh, I'm terrified. I'm used to playing Tarkov, but this is like a whole nother fucking animal.
Okay, well, good luck to us, because we gotta go in there. And now that it was just the 2 of us, and since we did handle that mission practically by ourselves, I'm sure we're gonna be fine. Whoa! We didn't complete a single mission together the entire time we played. We had problems with snipers. Oh no. We had problems with artillery.
I found the mortars.
Oh no! Oh my god! And one of the scariest things in this game was when I got knocked down inside of a building and they began to ambush us. We're so dead, oh my god. We're so dead. You're gonna pick me up.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Come on.
Oh no! And what's wild about all of this is that we went from complete strangers to friends willing to risk their own lives for each other. We had so much fun playing this game and ended up playing for over 2 hours together. Master, if you somehow find this video, I want you to know that I do it all over again. 6 Days in Fallujah is an exhilarating game, and I think I can safely say that it's terrifyingly realistic. I mean, it makes sense, considering that the game is based off of real stories from real Marines. And we were not that. Going to get you, soldier. I'm running back to the APV-AT. What the fuck is this called? Okay, what's the next game we got?
Let's go!
Jesus Christ. Bodycam is the first ultra-realistic multiplayer first-person shooter game. It's an early access title made by 2 people in Unreal Engine. And let me quickly remind YouTube again that this is a video game and not real life. When looking at the reviews, they all said that this game would melt my computer. When I booted the game up, I went straight into the server browser, joined my first game, and man, did it set the tone for how the rest of my games were going to be. Oh man. Oh, this looks like real life. Oh my hands are shaking right now. Oh. I have to peek this? Oh. The gun sounds were deafening, the movements are scary realistic, and the graphics? I feel like I'm actually here. In my second match, I felt completely useless. Right when I felt like I was safe, I wasn't. Take arm from the top.
Holy.
After that match, I realized that I needed a friend to play with because I was just simply not built for this game. Thankfully, my friend Connor joined and helped me out. The first game we played together was in the middle of a forest, and our only teammate was this guy.
Oh, Papicino!
What the? I was just getting familiar with the controls, so I was either getting shot at or shooting things that looked like an enemy player. When I died the first couple of rounds, I realized that I kept turning into this little drone. Now these drones can easily get shot out of the sky when you fly past the other team, but Connor had a brilliant idea. It was a 1v1 and I was the last one standing, and Connor used his drone to fly right next to the enemy, but he flew just high enough above the branches so they couldn't even find him, allowing me to take them out.
He's right here, on me. See where my drone is?
Yeah.
I'm flashing. Yeah. I'm flashlighting him.
Okay. I'm going up to a tree.
On me. Literally on my drone.
Did I get him? Oh my.
Nice.
Once we finally won that game and I felt more used to the controls, I felt like it was time to change maps and get into a game with more people. And I did not improve. Oh my. The new map we joined had the darkest hallways and I just could not see anyone. I tried to peek out, but every time I did that, I would just get shot. So when a new round started and I had a shotgun in my hand, I found a nice little dark corner behind a door and just waited for them. I think I hear one. Oh. I just sat here the entire round. No, seriously, I actually sat here for the entire round. Exactly 1 minute and 47 seconds. And in that time, you could have liked the video and subscribed to see more content. I tried to apologize to my teammates, but no one said anything except for this one player who had possibly the worst mic I have ever heard. Hey man, sorry about that last round, I kind of messed up. Oh my god. Oh, what is that mic you got there, man?
No, it's not me.
Are you gonna peek out there and try to shoot them?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck, man. Oh god. Oh, he just died. Oh no. And after losing that game, I went to go try out free-for-all and man, talk about a bloodbath. It was loud, chaotic, and I swear there were brief moments when I forgot that I was playing a game. And for a good portion of the match, I found a staircase and decided that that was my new home. There is no way I'm leaving this spot. I am not going out there. After spending over 3 hours in Bodycam, I think I can confidently say that this game is pretty realistic. Their game is still in early access, so currently there's not much to do. But their roadmap has plenty of content on the way, so here's hoping they can keep building on this because this is incredible. Wait, this says they're gonna add a zombies mode. This game with zombies? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Come on, Lopez, just peek out there. Put your gun out there. Do something. Come on now. Is that person behind us? Are you friendly? Okay, what's the next game we got?
Looks like squad 15 found a hab down there. That might be next point. Right around.
Oh. Yeah, I don't blame you for leaving, man. Squad is a tactical FPS that provides authentic combat experiences through teamwork, communication, and firefights. You have 100 players on one giant map fighting over objectives with commanders and squad leaders where communication is key. The reviews for this game said it's a rigorous experience and you might as well join the actual army. And I feel like I did when I started to play this game because it's a lot. I had plenty of options when picking my servers. They had different game modes, factions, and maps in either nighttime or daytime. I just picked one that looked promising and hoped for the best. It was a brand new match, but when I tried to load in, I couldn't since there were no squads available to join. So I just created my own. I guess I will create a squad. Oh. I don't know how to lead a squad. Not only was I brand new to the game, but now I had a whole squad of players ready to trust me on what to do and how to do it. You guys wiggling over there? How do I? Oh, there we go. Yeah, wiggle. Yeah. I thought it was too late to try and join a new squad, so I just accepted my fate. I took a Humvee towards one of the objectives, and I chose to drive the vehicle because I was a squad leader. It was my duty. I followed some other squads, got lost on the map, turned around, and then I immediately got us into a car accident. Oh! I don't have car insurance.
Hey man, what the
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. So I just let my squad mates drive the car instead. And once we were settled at one of the points, a random player asked me to put down a radio and a rally point. I slowly figured it out, but apparently it wasn't the best spot to put it. Alright, I think that's a good spot for my radio.
But what's that radio placement, bro? What the fuck?
Dude, listen, I don't know. It's my first time, brother. I wanted to get in the game, so I hit squad, and then everyone just joined me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Alright, well, let's get this hot up.
Thankfully, my team was pretty chill about me being new, so I just helped them fortify the rest of the base, and then we decided to meet up with the other squads to finally engage in battle. When we got to our destination, everyone followed me over a hill, and that did not end well. Alright, gamers, here we are at the rocks. Is that? That's the enemy. Okay, that's the enemy. Oh god. So a big issue I had with this game was figuring out who's friendly and who's not. I almost got killed by my teammate because even they were confused. Is anyone else confused? Because I don't know what these guys look like.
I don't either, so... Is that one of them? I'm about to shoot someone.
That's me.
No, I'm not. Okay, thank you for saying something. I was about to shoot you in the head.
And just when I thought I saw an enemy in my sights, I was wrong. Oh, there's a guy.
Gotcha.
The tank to the west, 280.
Was that my teammate? I think I killed my teammate. After taking out a teammate and being dead weight for my squad, I decided to leave the game and actually play through the tutorial, which is something that I should have done at the start. It took me around 20 minutes to go through everything that they had, but I started to get the game down. And with my newfound knowledge, I jumped right back into the war. I feel like I'm gonna get shot at. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, yep. Okay.
I see a little.
And while I still got shot while I was in the complete open, I finally took all of the information that I learned and put it to good use. I managed to take out some enemy soldier that was waiting to spring a trap on my team. I rode shotgun in a friendly APV and eventually joined an infantry squad to take out an enemy flank. And of course, I finally understood what the enemies looked like and got some more points in the game. After playing for a while, I eventually picked the medic class, and I think this might be the move for new players. I just stuck with my teammates and picked up anyone that I could off the ground using my healing hands. I learned where people went on every map, how to properly take down an enemy outpost, and I got to actually help my team in the process. And once I was feeling more confident, I tried taking out some enemies myself. Alright, over. Oh, is that a guy? Is it friendly? Okay, sorry about that. I'll just go back to healing. I'm sorry. After around 6 hours of playing squad, I can see why people would play this game for that realistic approach, but understand that the learning curve here is incredibly steep. I ran into several players with hundreds of hours, and even they got picked off one by one. If you're looking to get into this game, you better brace yourself and strap in. Squad is a very realistic game that will not hold your hand at all. Look up some tips and guides, and once you think you have an idea, you probably have another 20 hours until you start to fully grasp it. Also, at the end of every match, get ready to turn down your volume.
Goose bait, goose bait, goose bait, goose bait, stay time, stay time.
Scorpion, 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 scorpion.
Goose bait.
Goose bait lags.
Alright, what's the last game we have here?
You don't have any fun?
Oh my god, you're going from inside to out?
That's a grenade!
Oh my god.
Ready or Not is an intense, tactical first-person shooter that depicts a modern-day world in which SWAT police units are called to defuse hostile and confronting situations, or in this case, my friends who don't know how to check doors for explosives. Oh!
No way, dude.
Why? The reviews for this game praise it for its realistic SWAT experience and challenging maps, and after reading that, I was excited to give it a shot. When I started the game up, I spawned inside of a police headquarters where I got familiar with everything available. I had a gun range to test my weapons, the main briefing room to go over missions, and my locker to customize my loadout. Before I played with other people, I tried out the solo mode where I got to control 4 AI players, and they just took every bullet for me. Get in there. Go. You guys good? Took a lot of shots there. Oh, it's still going. After messing with that mode, I jumped straight into some public games. And the first match I joined only had 1 player in the lobby. There's only 1 person in here. I guess we can try to talk to them real quick. Hello?
Yep.
Hey, how's it going, gamer?
Nothing much.
Alright. It's a pretty cool office you got here. Snazzy. After I awkwardly introduced myself, eventually more people joined the game. Welcome on in, welcome on in.
Hey, how you doing?
Dude, that's a nice shirt you got there. So, how long you guys been on the force for?
A year. Yeah, probably a year.
They seemed pretty chill, and once we all had our loadouts ready to go, we launched our first mission together. And man, was it intense.
Roger.
Don't see anyone over there. I'll check this door real quick. Oh no, that's the guy, I'm bleeding out. But we did not complete this mission on the first try. We repeated it over and over again if we made any mistakes. You guys good down here?
Fuck! We don't talk about it.
Our footsteps.
We don't talk about it.
The reason why they did this was because they wanted to get a perfect score on the mission. And if you got the highest rank on certain missions, you get some cool clothing. It was pretty important to maintain a good score, so if you saw your teammate eat a bullet and they're no longer moving, that's probably not good. We eventually finished the mission with 0 deaths, and then they just went straight into another one. We played mission after mission, and after around 2 hours of playing with these guys, I felt pretty comfortable with them. I even tried to create some small talk. Alright boys, let's do this real quick and then go to Carrabba's for dinner.
Go to what?
Go to Carrabba's for dinner.
It's Carrabba's.
Carrabba's, the Italian franchise restaurant?
I think you're talking about Olive Garden.
No, I'm saying Carrabba's. Carrabba's isn't like Carrabba's.
I think you're talking about Olive Garden.
No, I'm not talking about Olive Garden.
Yeah, I don't know what the Carrabba's is, but
I really can't tell from being gaslit by my squad here.
I think it's like the Italian name for Olive Garden or something like that.
No, once we hit the 3-hour mark, the team decided to disband and get off for the night. We said our goodbyes, and I called it a day. And the next day, I convinced some of my friends to get this game, and I had a fun idea. So every mission I did was pretty much always guns blazing. But what if we tried to use non-lethal tactics? I'm talking about pepper ball bullets, tasers, and gas masks. So how many tries do you think we had before we got a perfect score? Alright, you got that person right there? What? Who just died?
Blew up.
It was Connor. Yeah. Yeah, it was around 7, but we eventually got there. And if you thought that being an entire SWAT unit was realistic, you have not seen the coffee machine in this game.
It only costs 50 cents.
Oh, deadass, you're making
They
coffee.
charge you coffee?
Oh, you're actually drinking it. Through your mask and everything.
Oh my god, that is a lot of options.
Yeah, I know. I can't make up my mind up right now. I'll get a macchiato, I guess. Ready or Not is a fantastic game to play with friends and random players. I was actually surprised to always find helpful teammates. Just don't go shooting random doors right when the game ends, and you'll be fine. I only had one. Oh.
Dude. There goes the S.
Dude, all I did was shoot a door.
When it comes to realistic games, I think it's safe to say that these 4 really nailed it. Whether it's based or inspired on real events, all of them allowed myself and others to experience and see what really happens in these situations. I've played so many games where it feels like it's just me, myself, and I. So it was very refreshing to have all of these people wanting to help me out in every game that I played. I'm really glad that I went through Steam and found them. I had an incredible time going through this section of the realistic genre and finding these amazing experiences. And I gotta say, I'm excited to see what other games I can find in the future. I also know that all of these were FPS titles, so if you want me to explore other realistic games that aren't that, go ahead and leave some suggestions in the comments. And while you're still here, go watch my other videos. YouTube thinks you'll like the ones on the screen right now. Okay, bye.